Hare Krishna. I don't know what you are saying, but anyway, it should be Radha Madhav on the screen at the moment. Right, let's make a start. That's fine. Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunj Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunj Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Jayo Giravardhari Gopijana Vallabha Jayo Giravardhari Yashodanandan Vrajjana Ranjan Yashodanandan Vrajjana Ranjan Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Hari Hari Bol. Okay, let's make a start. And we're doing shlokas chapter 2, 19 to 21. And we're still on the stages of Bhakti, Shraddha to Prem. And we'll be discussing Ruchi, Asakti. So let's go on to there. Stop sharing this. And it's not going to be funny today. Share. Okay. Can everybody see the verse? Is that
no, not yet, Prabhuji.
Not yet. Okay, let me try again. That's playing up today. Try again. Now?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Right? Om Agyantimridhanasya Jnana Shalakya Chakshu Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Staptam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadameyam Dadati Swapatantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Krishna Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shivishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavan Vishwari Vishwabhanu Sutadevi Paran Mami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatu Brihishcha Kirpa Sindhve Vacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasti Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Mukham Kroti Vachalam Pangum Nangyate Garim Yat Kirpatam Mundashi Guruntin Taranam Param Nandamadam Shri Chaitanya Ishram Narayam namaskritya naram cheva naruttamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamuduriyet. Nastaprishu abdureshu nityam Bhagavad-Sevayā Bhagavati uttam shloke bhakti bhavati nestiki. Hare Krishna. Okay, right. Verse 19. By the way, thank you all for joining this morning. Welcome. So we go through shlokas and then we'll have a discussion. So tada rajastamo bhava kama lobdayas chaye cheta ate anavidam sthitam sattve prasiddhati. Tada is at the time, Raj in the mode of passion, tamha the mode of ignorance, bhavaha the situation, kam lust and desire, lobha hankering, adhiha others, cha and ye whatever they are, cheta the mind, itahi by these, anavidam without being affected, stitam being fixed, sattve in the mode of goodness, prasiddhati thus become fully satisfied. So the modes do play a part in this, and in reaching the higher stages of bhakti. So tada rajastamo bhava kama lobdesh chaye cheta ter anividam stitam sattve prasiddhati. So as soon as the revocable loving service is established in the heart, the effects of nature's modes of passion and ignorance such as lust, desire and hankering disappear from the heart. So we have all these things, the obstacles that are in the heart, they need to disappear. That the heart needs to be purified from these things. Then the devotee is established in goodness and he becomes completely happy. So the mode of goodness is like the airport. You must, if you're going to fly, if you're going to catch a plane, you must reach the airport. So the goodness is like an airport. Unless you go to the airport, you're never going to catch the plane, right? So that's the requirement, that it should be in the mode of goodness. This is why we get up early in the morning, we do a chanting, we do a sadhana, we follow the 4 regulations to keep us in the mode of goodness. So a living being in his normal constitutional position is fully satisfied in spiritual bliss. This state of existence is called Brahma Bhuta or Atmananda, or the state of self-satisfaction. This self-satisfaction is not like the satisfaction of the inactive fool. The inactive fool is in the state of foolish ignorance, whereas the self-satisfied Atmanandi is transcendental to the material state of existence. This stage of perfection is attained as soon as one is fixed in irrevocable devotional service. Devotional service is not inactivity, but the unalloyed activity of the soul. Okay, first thing we got to understand is that it's mentioned here that about self-satisfaction, of a transcendental person. So there in the Bhagavad-Gita it's mentioned that there's 2 types of people who are happy, and we probably fall in the middle. 2 types of people are happy: the transcendentalists and the fools. Fools are happy because they don't know any different. They'll accept anything. They say, "Oh look, this is the way. That's how life is. Duality, kabhi khushi, kabhi gum. Like that's how life is. Din hai, kabhi raat hai. We just accept it." But the transcendentalist, he understands, God's ways, and he's always in samadhi to the Lord, whatever the situation. So they're both happy, but for different reasons. This is the thing. Their happiness comes from different consciousness. A transcendentalist or a fool. So he says this self-satisfaction is not like the satisfaction of the inactive fool. So who doesn't really care what happens, that's just ignorance. So the soul's activity becomes adulterated in contact with matter, and as such, the diseased activities are expressed in the form of lust, desire, hankering, inactivity, foolishness, and sleep. The effect of devotional service becomes manifest by complete elimination of these effects of passion and ignorance. The devotee is fixed at once in the mode of goodness, and he makes further progress to rise in the position of Vasudev, or the state of unmixed sattva. So that's pure goodness, or Shuddh sattva. Only in the Shuddh sattva state can one always see Krishna face to face by dint of pure affection for the Lord. So we are aiming for the mode of goodness, and we have to drive out, eliminate the effects of passion and ignorance. A devotee is always in the mode of unalloyed goodness, therefore he harms no one. But the non-devotee, however educated he may be, is always harmful. So, you're a professor or scientist or something, doesn't make you a devotee. Material knowledge does not make you a devotee, or very, very, or makes you somebody in a mode of goodness. Devotee is neither foolish nor passionate. The harmful, foolish, and passionate cannot be devotees of the Lord. So there's some qualifications to be a devotee. We are aspiring devotees. We are, we call ourselves devotees. We call each other devotees, but we are actually all aspiring devotees, because there is a level that you have to reach. Is somebody who can think of Krishna 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, can consider themselves devotees. I'll speak for myself. It's on and off, right? We have so many doubts as well. So we are aspiring devotees. A devotee is neither foolish nor passionate. The harmful, foolish, and passionate cannot be devoted to the Lord. However, they may advertise themselves as devotees by outward dress. A devotee is always qualified with all good qualities of God. So now Prabhupada explaining what a devotee is. A devotee is always qualified with all the good qualities of God. Quantitatively, such qualification may be different, but qualitatively, both the Lord and the devotees are one and the same. So a devotee, because he's so much attached and attracted to God, that he has those qualities of God as well, but not necessarily in unlimited qualities like the Lord has. He has them in a minute quantity. So the idea really is, see if I can find something for you. So we talk about reaching the level, getting rid of all our anarthas. And once you get rid of all your anarthas, you can start working towards ruchi, getting a taste for the holy name, for Krishna. Your attachment is more increasing. You get more attached to spiritual life than material life. And Srila Prabhupada explains that the principle is that we have to place our mind or conscience in the sattva guna. That's what we're talking about. That is the first business without coming to the platform of sattva guna or brahmanical qualifications. But brahmanical qualification doesn't mean you have to have a thread to be a Brahman. Sometimes you might have a thread and you've not really quite achieved that Brahman stage yet. You still have disqualifications, but somehow or other you manage to get a thread, you manage to get initiated into a Brahman, but you not necessarily have, especially nowadays, you become Brahmins later, you get the thread first. So I think you get the thread because you're showing signs that you are advancing, and you get the thread, but that doesn't really necessarily mean that you have the qualifications of the Brahman. So therefore, in our Krishna consciousness movement, we first of all bring anyone to the platform of Brahman. Therefore, at the time of second initiation, we offer the sacred thread to recognize him that he is now Brahman, but that is not always the case. Without becoming a Brahman, nobody can become a Vaishnava. So first we have to have the qualities of a Brahman, right? Peacefulness, cleanliness, like that explained in the Bhagavad-Gita, and non-violent. So have these qualities. So first you become a Brahman, and then you become a Vaishnava. Not that a Vaishnava becomes a Brahman. The Brahman becomes a Vaishnava. So we are all aspiring Vaishnavas, and then from this we can say we are all aspiring Brahmins as well, because we are working towards those qualities. So it harms no one, meaning not just like he's not violent. It means mentally, verbally, or physically as well. So mentally as well, that these are Brahmanical qualities, that you don't harm anyone mentally as well, although you don't get any reactions in the Kali Yuga for thinking something bad, but you get a benefit of thinking something good. That is the quality of the Kali Yuga, that if you think of something spiritual and good for the people, you'll get benefit of that. But if you think something bad, you don't get a reaction. But that still should not happen, because a thought leads to activity and action. So we have to be careful in our behavior or in our thinking, that mentally, verbally, or physically harm no one. And nowadays you could say mentally, verbally, physically, and WhatsApply as well, which I guess could be considered verbally. We don't write messages to message to people with bad intention as well. So there's example of the Magrari, the hunter, which we've used so many times, who used to half kill animals, right? And with the help of Narad Muni, he became a devotee, and then he couldn't even step on an ant. So this is the quality of Vaishnava association, and this is the quality of a Vaishnava, that we don't want to harm anyone in any shape or form. But then Srila Prabhupada also explains that it's dangerous to be in the mode of goodness as well, just to stay. So you arrive at an airport, which is considered the mode of goodness. If you don't catch a plane, then what was the point of going to the airport? You might, you probably just want to see planes taking off, like you do, just plane watching, like people have this hobby of watching planes fly. So if you go to the airport, but if you don't catch a plane, then your mission really, if you went with the intention of catching a plane and you didn't catch it, then your mission is not complete. So when you're in mode of goodness, the idea is to work towards the mode of pure goodness, unalloyed, with no material tinge. So to say that in Brahmanical qualifications, so you reach the mode of goodness, you got Brahmanical qualifications, and then say, oh, I'm very learned, I have now become a Brahman, I'm very advanced. So that is false ego. This is also cause of bondage. So one must be free from all three modes. Then you come to the transcendental form. Sarvapadi vir muktanam, vinirmuktanam. The only padi you should have is you are the servant of the servant. So this is the thing, we have to be very careful. First we have to come into mode of goodness, then we really need to get out of that mode of goodness and get into pure goodness, because that's also a dangerous mode. We can become too proud of our qualities, and that's a very dangerous position to be in, because we still be stuck in this material world. So we arrive at the airport and we take off into pure goodness. That's right. Let's read on. So in 20, Evan prasan manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha bhagavad tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate Evam isthas prasanna, enlivened manasaha of the mind, Bhagavat Bhakti, the devotional service of the Lord, Yuktaha, by contact of Bhagavat, regarding the personality of Godhead, Tattva, knowledge, Vijnanam, scientific, Mukt, liberated, Sangasya, of the association, Jayate, become effective. So, evam prasanna manaso Bhagavat Bhakti Yogataha Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate. Thus, established in the mode of unalloyed goodness, the man whose mind has been enlivened by contact with devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association. So I'm going to read that again. Thus, established in the mode of unalloyed goodness, which is pure goodness, the man whose mind has been enlivened by contact with devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association. So once we have no longer any attachment to material association, you get knowledge from within of the personality of Godhead. Let's just read the report by Srila Prabhupada. In the Bhagavad-Gita 7.3, it is said that out of many thousands of ordinary men, one fortunate man endeavors for perfection in life. So that's Bahunam Janmanumante. Mostly men are conducted by the modes of passion and ignorance. So most people are in the mode of passion or in the mode of ignorance. Not many are in the mode of goodness. We have to strive to, we have to give up so many things and live a certain lifestyle to become in the mode of goodness. But most people are not doing that. Very small percentage. Most people are in passion or ignorance. We, before coming to Krishna consciousness, we were definitely in mode of passion and ignorance about some things as well. And thus they are engaged always in lust, desire, hankerings, ignorance, and sleep. Out of many such man-like animals, so people are compared to animals, with these. There is actually a man who knows the responsibility of human life and thus try to make life perfect by following the prescribed duties. And out of many thousands of such persons who have thus attained success in human life, one may know scientifically about the personality of Godhead. So it's talking about the Gyanis. You might know, many thousand Gyanis may know, may have success in human life, but to know, but they might be after, a light or Paramatma form, to know the personality of God as Sri Krishna. There's only very few. In the same Bhagavad-Gita 1855, it is also said that scientific knowledge of Sri Krishna is understood only by the process of devotion service, bhakti yoga. The very same thing is confirmed here in the above words. No ordinary man or even one who has attained success in human life can know scientifically or perfectly the personality of Godhead. Perfection of human life is attained when one can understand that he is not the product of matter. So we are not this body, but is in fact spirit. We are a spirit soul. And as soon as one understands that he has nothing to do with matter, so we're just given this body, human form, any other form. Really, we are actually a spirit soul. We're sent to this planet, so we're given varieties of bodies according to this planet. We could be sent to another planet or another universe. Even now they are discovering that the scientists have discovered now that there are many parallel universes. Right? They are beginning to believe that now, understand that. So there are. We now already know that from our scriptures. We already knew how far the sun was from Hanuman Chalisa. We know these things from time immemorial, and scientists are just discovering, and they're starting believing. Yes, there are. Google computer is worked out, they've invented a chip, and the way it performs, it sort of proves that there are parallel universes. Well, we already know that. So we could be in this universe having these kind of bodies. We could be like another planet of this universe having a different kind of body, and there's other universes. So basically, end of the day, we are a spirit soul. That's how you got to look at it. That this one body is just one type of body that we managed to acquire. We have acquired many types of the bodies in this planet, some other universe, and we had billions of lives. So we cannot say that I am this body, because we've had so many different bodies, right? This is not a permanent body. A permanent, what is a soul. We are a permanent soul. We are not a permanent material body. So perfection of human life is attained when one can understand that he is not the product of matter, but is in fact spirit. As soon as one understands that, he has nothing to do with matter. He at once ceases his material hankerings and becomes enlivened as a spiritual being. So that's what we should be focusing on, our spiritual being, not our material being. This attainment of success is possible when one is above the modes of passion and ignorance, or in other words, when one is actually a Brahman by qualification. Brahman means spirituality in this case. A Brahman is a symbol of Sattva Guna, or the mode of goodness, and other words, who are not in the mode of goodness are either Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras, or less than Shudras. The Brahmanical stage is the highest stage of human life because of its good qualities. So one cannot be a devotee unless one at least qualifies as a Brahmana. The devotee is already a Brahmana by action, because you have to be Brahmana first, as mentioned, then you become a devotee. But that is not the end of it, as referred to above. Such a Brahman has to become a Vaishnava, in fact, to be actually in the transcendental stage. So, we have work to do. We can't say that I'm chanting or I'm following regulations to best my ability, to my capacity. No, I'm a devotee. You have to build those qualities. Very important to have the qualities. If you want to attract God, if you want to attract Krishna, you want to attract the holy name. You want to and so you have to have those qualities. You have to, yes, I was going to say, if you want to attract the knowledge, if you want to attract the transcendental knowledge, then you must have those qualities. Then all these things are attracted to you, or they start coming from within. Things start becoming clear. So it's important to have those Brahmanical qualities. So these verses are stressing. A pure Vaishnava is a liberated soul and is transcendental even to the position of a Brahman. In the material stage, even a Brahman is also a conditioned soul, because although in the Brahmanical stage, the conception of Brahman or transcendence is realized, scientific knowledge of the Supreme Lord is lacking. One has to surpass the Brahmanical stage and reach the Vasudev stage to understand the personality of Godhead, Krishna. The science of the personality of Godhead is a subject matter for study by the postgraduate students in the spiritual line. Foolish men or men with a poor fund of knowledge do not understand the Supreme Lord, and they interpret Krishna according to their respective whims. The fact is, however, that one cannot understand the science of the personality of Godhead unless one is freed from the contamination of the material modes. Even up to the stage of Brahman, when a qualified Brahman actually becomes a Vaishnava in the enlivened state of liberation, he can know what is actually the personality of Godhead. So when a qualified Brahman, so when you got all these qualities and becomes a Vaishnava by those qualities, in the enlivened state of liberation, so Vaishnava has given up all material attachments, he can know what is actually the personality of God. So knowledge reveals itself. So Srila Prabhupada explains that as we advance, we have direct experience of Krishna. We can see Krishna face to face. That's the end result. So that's when you are a devotee of Krishna, right? So we have to rise above the modes of passion and ignorance. So that's the first thing. You have to come in the mode of goodness, sattva guna. So Prabhupada says that if we can't rise early in the morning, that means we are in the clutches of Maya. That is the test. I mean, unless you like have health issues, I guess. If you can't get up due to sheer laziness, and that means you're like in the mode of ignorance, because ignorance means sleep, right? Ignorance people are described people who are lazy, who are sleepy, like that. So if you're lazy, can't be bothered mentality, can't be bothered to get up, unless, like I said, health issues, then you are controlled by the mode of ignorance. And so if you're mode of ignorance, how are you going to get to the mode of goodness from there? It's a long way away. So let's see if we can add something else to that. So I just want to share with you, we can write this down if you want. This is the Bhakti road map of different scriptures. So how different scriptures in the scriptures that we are recommended by the Acharyas, how they map out bhakti. So first off, nectar of devotion, we all know about. This is by Srila Rupa Goswami. Describes 3 categories of devotional service. So Rupa Goswami says devotional service in practice, that's called sadhana bhakti, which we're doing. Devotional bhakti in ecstasy is bhava bhakti, and devotional service in pure love of God, prema bhakti. So sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, and prema bhakti. So this nectar of devotion that's how it's divided: sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, and prema bhakti. So we are basically in sadhana bhakti at the moment. We're hoping to reach bhava stage, and from bhava we want to go on to prema. So sadhana bhakti is dangerous because we can fall at any time. We can be deviated. The modes are very strong against us at the moment. So really you've got to work towards a bhava stage, bhakti in ecstasy. And then Bhagavad-Gita. What does Bhagavad-Gita tell us? In Bhagavad-Gita 12.11 to 12, renunciation of fruits of action, meditation, and cultivation of knowledge result in purification, peace, and gradual elevation. So there, sadhana bhakti is mentioned in 12.10. Work for Krishna. Result will come to the stage of devotional service. And so chapter 12 tells us different stages we can follow depending on our mood, where we are. You can follow different stages. So the working for Krishna is considered sadhana bhakti. Bhava bhakti is follow regulative principles of sadhana bhakti, develop desire to attain Krishna. So to work towards bhava, we develop the desire to attain Krishna. And prema bhakti is considered mind fixed on Krishna. So 12.8 says fix your mind on Krishna, but not many of us can do that. So all the stages are mentioned, that if you can't do this, then you do this. If you can't do this, you do this. And then it sort of goes to the end that if you can't do anything, then just offer your fruits of your labor, offer some money, and then slowly you get purified and you'll move up stage to the point that mind becomes fixed on man mana bhav mad bhakto. Your mind becomes fixed on Krishna. And also mentioned in the Taittiriya Upanishad, 6 stages of conscious evolution. Material consciousness is Anmaya, Pranmaya, and Manomaya. So Anmaya is life is food, like babies, life is food. Pranmaya, teenagers, life is energy. And Manomaya, life is mind. That's material consciousness, right? So we think about food, energy, mind. That's far as the material. Now spiritual consciousness, Gyan Maya. Life as Vedic knowledge. So Gyan Maya stage is what we have discussed, is Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, and Bhajan Kriya. That's Gyan Maya up to that stage. So Bhajan Kriya, it's like we're in the sadhana stage. We haven't really gone into the bhava or the prema. So Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, and Bhajan Kriya. These are the first 3 stages of Shraddha to Prem. And then Vigyan Maya, life as self-realization. So hopefully most of us are now in Anartha Nivritti stage, because we've taken Bhajan Kriya, we're doing a sadhana, and now we're trying to purify ourselves. Anartha Nivritti, Nishta, is known as Vigyan Maya, or life as self, we're trying to get self-realization. And in fact, this Vigyan Maya, it expands to Anartha Nivritti, Nishta, Ruchi, and Asakti. So Nishta is an attachment, you become more attached, and then Ruchi, as you get taste, you get Asakti, which is you get even more attached. So there's a lot of attachment to do before we get to Prema, from Bhava and Prema. Right? And finally, it's mentioned as Anandamaya. So you got Gyan Maya, which is Sharda, Sadhu Sangha, and Bhajan Kriya. And Vigyan Maya is Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, and Asakti. That's Vigyan, scientific. And then we have to work to Anandamaya, life as pure love of Shri Krishna, Bhava and Prema. That's when you get to Anandamaya. So Gyan Maya, Vigyan Maya, Anandamaya. These are the stages to Prema. And in the Sri Updesha Amrita, or Nectar of Instruction, verses 1 to 3 talk about Sharda, 4 to 6 talk about Sadhu Sangha, 7 Bhajan Kriya, 8 Asakti, and 9 and 10 talk about Bhav Bhakti and Prema. So I'm mentioning all this because all these stages are there, right? They're there, and they're all mentioned by different scriptures in their own way. So whichever way you can understand, right? They're all there. Explain the 9 stages of bhakti, from Sharda, which we were asked to give to people. Go out and give them Sharda by explaining to them, by setting a good example, be good role models. People think, yes, we want to be a devotee as well. I like these, how these people talk, how they interact, how they behave. Give people Sharda. So, and then help them. Sharda, so give them association and build them up to, attachment and love of God. And in the Shri Shiksha Ashtakam, the 8 verses, the verse 1 is about Sharda and Sadhu Sangha. Verse 2 is about Bhajan Kriya and Anartha Nivritti. So you can check this yourself, Shiksha Ashtakam by Mahaprabhu. The first verse is talking about Sharda and Sadhu Sangha. Verse 2 is talking about Bhajan Kriya and Anartha Nivritti. Verse 3 is talking about Nishtha. And 4, so Nishtha is like attachment. 4th, Ruchi, taste. 5th verse is talking about Asakti, even more attachment. And 6th is Bhava Bhakti. And 7 and 8 are Prema. So like in the verse 8, Mahaprabhu says that, I don't care whether you reject me, kick me, whatever you want to do, but you will always remain my Lord, birth after birth. So that's the Prema stage. When you are in love, even in the material world, when you're in love, you really don't care, whether this love is imbalanced, whether the person even loves you. If you love them, you love them 100%. And that is real love. That the other person may reject you completely. They may go off with somebody else, but you still love them. That is true love. No, I'll love them if they love me. I'll do something for them if they do for me. That's business like. True love is when it's unconditional. There is no condition. And that's Prema Bhakti. That's what we're looking for. Unconditional love. And time's running out, so just have a quick look at this. So Srila Prabhupada mentions that in the material world, progressing through these paths of bhakti may take 1, 2, or 3 lifetimes. We're hoping it'll be 1. Or rather, we have done 2 lifetimes of sadhana and we're on the 3rd one. But wherever you left off in your previous life, you will continue on from there in the next life. Say you were halfway through your Anartha Nivritti. So Anartha Nivritti is a long process and depends on us how fast we get through that. You will continue from there in the next slide. So you keep progressing until you come to the stage of prema. Now you meet Lord Krishna face to face. After meeting Krishna, you are desperate to meet him again, hankering after him. You come to a state where you are about to die in your separation. That's the kind of level we need. Krishna appears and releases you. The devotee leaves his body and goes to the next destination. So, if you meet Krishna, you might become so, ecstatic. And when he leaves you, you become so
despondent.
In separation, despondent in desperation, in separation that, you just want to leave your body. So the previous acharyas talk about this because that's the kind of state they have been in. Mahaprabhu, God himself, he demonstrated that state as well. So I want to leave it here. We can continue on Friday with the last verse and we can talk a bit more. So thank you all so much for listening, and let's share what you make of this. Right. So Pundikaksh Prabhu, please share what you take away today from this.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. These verses are very in-depth. When I read them, I did not get this much information, how much you shared in these few minutes, Prabhuji, actually.
By the way, sorry to cut in. I was going to say, these are like all from Srila Prabhupada's classes. So, it's a lot of work. I have to visit the classes and, there's extracts in there. But you're right. Just by looking at Bhagavatam, then you have to listen to Prabhupada's interpretations. But anyway, I'm here to help. Hare Krishna. Anji Prabhuji.
Actually, I like the way Prabhupada explained things very nicely. Like in the Bhagavad-Gita, he said in one of the purport, being silent doesn't mean that you're not talking, but you're talking which makes sense, which is purely devotional activity. So here Prabhupada mentioned being inactive doesn't mean that you're not doing any active activities, but your activities have become unalloyed. So which is like anya bilashata sunyam jnana karma devatam. So free from jnana and karma, and it's a pure devotional service. And free unalloyed devotional service, not for material gain, but for the pure attaining the pure love of Sri Krishna. And devotional service is very good because, as explained in Nectar of Devotion, it removes the sinful proclivity. It doesn't just sinful reactions, but it removes that sinful proclivity in the mind, and that is where you can stop doing the sinful activities, and you can stop the cycle of karma, like sin reaction, action reaction, action reaction. That will be stopped unless the proclivity is not addressed. We keep on doing sinful activities. So further, the heart should become pure enough, and Krishna gives that knowledge. When you're striving seriously to attain Krishna, then Krishna will give that knowledge, as explained in Chatusloki Bhagavad-Gita, that he will give that knowledge when somebody is striving to come to him. And again, as in Ishopanishad, it says he will open the curtain and you can see face to face. Once I was talking to Mayapur Prabhu, and he said that what will happen to a devotee when he see Krishna in front of him. And he said devotee will be in joy, but Krishna will actually fall down. Because Krishna is in more ecstasy to see you rather than you seeing Krishna actually. So Krishna will fall down, and whereas you are jumping because you are in ecstasy on seeing Krishna. So that's how merciful Krishna is. Or that much eagerly he is waiting for us to come back. And as mentioned, Brahmana is not a designation; it's a qualities. So once we come to the point of Brahmana, that means once your qualities are really good, then we can actually attain the real devotional service. Until unless we are free from that contamination, we cannot achieve the devotional service as well. And the point you mentioned about airport is very nice, Prabhuji. So coming to the mode of goodness is like airport, but again, Suddha Sattva, which is pure mode of goodness, is above the, even after coming to airport, if you can miss the flight. So to get the flight, you have to situate in Suddha Sattva, which is above the mode of goodness, which is pure mode of goodness. And we are self-satisfied. A devotee is self-satisfied because At least after hearing Ishopanishad and all these things, we'll start realizing that nothing is my own here. Everything is given to me for a reason, and we start utilizing them properly in the devotional service. So that hankering will stop at some time in the association of devotees again. Otherwise, we can't do it on our own in the devote. Yeah, that's all, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yes, wonderful. Kiran Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Pearls of wisdom every morning. And 1.2.20 says, only 1 in 1,000 see or get this opportunity. I think we are privileged to have reached such an auspicious position that we are not only being given the opportunity, but we're understanding, we're learning, we're realizing that being a Brahmin is not enough. From Brahminical qualities becomes the Vaishnava qualities. Therefore, the qualities and qualifications to continue to aspire and to climb the bhakti ladder are necessary. Anyone in any profession cannot sit still. It is a lifelong education, and this is a lifelong education in Bhakti Shastra. Of course, some are more jnanis than others, but this Bhakti approach is a combination of knowledge, wisdom, practice, service, worship, a combination of many, many things. And so the purity of a Vaishnava can be cultivated through those multiple kind of approaches. Yes, it was a mention of, it's not just this planet that we live on. There are multiverses. Brahma was embarrassed when Krishna reminded him, don't be proud of your creation here. I've created many, many others. Therefore, let's remain humble, stable, and with humility continue the journey. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for reminding us of that. Deepak Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. First of all, I was just looking at the such a nice flow of verses. So in 18, we discussed about how regular attendance in the Bhagavatam classes can rendering services to the pure devotee, that you can progress on to understand more about the personality of Godhead. Then I really, really enjoyed your and I am example of going to the airport. But I think going to the airport is always challenging. For example, if we see in a city like London or Mumbai, while you are trying to advance towards the airport, there's a lot of congestion on the roads. Then your car can get scratched a number of times, and you're trying to rush. And I was trying to, kind of picturize this in a similar way, that when you are trying to go on your path of devotion and bhakti, so there is a lot of resistance, and resistance can be from your family members, from your, let's say, immediate friends, from your colleagues, and sometimes from the devotees within the congregation as well. And even though you might have a ticket, you might have a visa, but then let's say that by doing all the difficult efforts, you have reached the airport. But sometimes like you were sharing your experience, sometimes the checkout staff is so high-headed, they cause you a lot of distress. Give me the visa, this is not there, this paper is not there, even though you might have all the things in place. But it's just like we sometimes say in India that the driver of a chief minister is also a chief minister in themselves. So I think that an analogy, I was just thinking that yes, definitely we need to get on the flight, but getting on the flight sometimes is very, very difficult. And the second takeaway, obviously, was for me was that I was listening to one of the Prabhujis over in YouTube, and he was giving an example about the kind of confidence and dedication that a devotee can have, and that doesn't mean that the devotee has to be like we say, a very high exalted devotee. So he gave an example that Narad Muni once disguised himself and came on earth and trying to test a couple of devotees. So he visited a very exalted Brahmana, and the Brahman asked, "Where are you going?" He said, "Oh, I'm going to see God." And he said that, "Okay, that's fine. If you when you see God, ask him, when am I going to see him? Because I have been praying for a very long time. I follow all this, and all that. I am initiated 2, 3, 4 times, whatever thing is." He said, "Okay, that's fine. I'll do." And as he was passing through, then he saw a cobbler, a mochi. And mochi was obviously a simple bhagat, and he just used to chant the name. And so he asked also Narad Muni, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going to see God." He said, "Oh, that's really good. When you go, please pray my obeisances to him." That's it. So when Naraji obviously went there and he came back, and he went to the Brahmana, and Brahmana said, "So have you been to see God?" He said, "Yes." So what was he doing? And Naraji said, "Oh, he was just he was I could see that he has disguised himself as an elephant, but he was passing through a small ring." And the Brahmana says, "Oh, you are lying. That can never happen. How can an elephant pass through a ring? You are just joking. You never went to see God." And then he goes over to the cobbler and he says the same thing when obviously the cobbler asks what was Bhagwan doing. And he says, "Oh, he of the size of an elephant. He was trying to pass through a small ring." And the Brahmana says, "Oh, sorry." The cobbler says, "Oh my God, my God is so powerful. He's so magical that he can pass through a ring." So that's the difference. That doesn't mean that somebody is so exalted and everything. It's just the devotion and the faith which the cobbler had it, and the Brahmana didn't have it. And that is what Prabhupada stresses, that to be a Brahmana and especially to be a Vaishnav, it's not a qualification that you earn with that. Okay, let's say somebody has been born in a Kshatriya family or in a Shudra family or in a Vaishya family. These things need to be acquired over a period of time. I think two great takeaways from myself. And I did miss, because obviously I was diving about the various examples that we've given about the stages of bhakti. So I'll go back to YouTube and listen and note those down. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, very nice. Yeah, thank you for sharing that pastime. Very nice. Yeah, you're right. This is the issue by birth. Being Brahmin by birth. It doesn't really make any sense, because just because you're born in a Brahmin family doesn't necessarily make you a Brahmin. You need those qualities, and then even those qualities are not enough. You need to move on to being a Vaishnav. So it's good having lots of knowledge, lots of qualities, but what do you do with them? That's the key. It's not good just having a lot of knowledge and qualities. You make use of them, and you get yourself attached to Krishna, and do your bhakti and help others. That's what you should be doing. Thank you so much. Purvi Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Yeah, well, for me, it is like how important it is to imbibe the qualities of Brahmanas. Like in Bhagavad-Gita also, we read like the 3 gates to hell are lust, anger, and greed. So unless we overcome these things, we cannot rise to the mode of goodness. And from the mode of goodness, the aim is to be in the mode of pure goodness, to realize Krishna. So it's very, very important to work on our vices. And once we start chanting, Krishna is so merciful. He purifies us, and slowly, slowly, with the association of devotees, our anarthas are nullified. So it's like Deepa Prabhu said, it's the faith. Faith is the important thing, humility and love for Krishna. So, the example of cobbler and Brahmana, they are very apt, how the faith, yes, we need to have faith that Krishna can do anything and everything. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mataji, for mentioning that. I mean, actually, very, very good point, because what you said earlier, that you have to imbibe those qualities and get rid of lust, greed, anger, and like that, all the obstacles. Because, like, as I just mentioned earlier about how you got to rise early in the morning, follow your regulations, chanting. Yes, that's your practice, external practice. But yes, I forgot to mention the internal practice of getting rid of, to come to the mode of goodness, there's some internal cleansing required as well, and that's to get rid of those bad qualities. So thank you for mentioning that. So we're going to work on the exterior actions and the interior motivations as well. Thank you, Mataji. Radharani?
Hare Krishna, everyone. We always hear from Prabhupada, whether it's in Bhagavad-Gita or any other scriptures, Prabhupada always mentions in purport that you got to remember Krishna 24/7. And in these two verses, it's been beautifully described how 24/7 is going to come. So how we are going to, come from one stage to the other. It will all start from the faith. Faith, it is always there in all of us, but it has been like covered because we are conditioned soul and we wanted to be like this. And when somebody showed us to do the chanting, how to call God's name in this Kali Yuga, this is how our faith arose, arised from its hidden, latent sleep, and how we have to progress from stage to stage. It's so easy. We go on like parrots that, oh, we got to get rid of this, we got to get rid of this, we've got to go from Shraddha to Prem. And when you hear from Srila Prabhupada, the real effort we have to put, the hard work we have to do from going from one stage to another really opens your eyes. And it has to be 24/7. We see in material life, people who become really, really rich materially, they sleep, eat, walk, the motivational speakers tell that you have to do this 24/7. So similarly, I think Krishna has made all this material life and material, perverted, everything is made. So we eventually realize that this is how much we have to work in the spiritual department as well, if we want to arise from the really basic stages of Shraddha. Shraddha has to be there always. Then with Shraddha, we have to add the other stage. And then with other two stages, we have to add another stage. So we from Shraddha to Prem, all of them will be there in us when we're progressing in the stages of bhakti. And the jnana will come. We look how we start our lives as babies and how we progress. And that is also, so if, whatever we're learning every day, if we look around, the examples are there. So we can actually revise, look at baby, oh, that's the Annamaya stage. Look at the teens, that's the energy level, what's that? Vijnanamaya stage. No, which stage is that? Annamaya, Pranamaya stage. Pranamaya. And our goal is the Anandamaya, Sachida Anand, because this is what we are. Inherently, we are all Anandamaya. We are Sachidanand. Qualitatively, we are same as Lord. Quantitatively, we are different. So we have to do a lot of hard work, and we just can't sit on our laurels that, okay, I've reached the stage of Anartha Nivritti, okay, I will somehow get rid of this. But like Prabhupada says that you might leave one body at the stage of Anartha Nivritti, and I'm sure it takes millions of lives just to, seems like, because we see that how difficult it is to get rid of one little, might look like a little problem, one fault. To get rid of one fault, it takes years and years and years. When we look back, we think, oh my God, 20 years ago, I had this, difficulty in my behavior, and I still have that same. So it shows that how long it takes to get rid of one trait of which is bad, negative trait of your personality. So it's not easy, but Krishna says He's with us. Srila Prabhupada says He is with us. Bhagavan is with us in the form of holy name. So we will reach somewhere, and we are sitting here in these classes first thing in the morning. That just shows to us that yes, we have come so far. When I think that when I started this this Bhakti Marg. I started on it. I don't think I could have sat first thing in the morning like this in a discussion. I might have sat down in the afternoon or in the evening, but to see that even sometimes before eating, I'm happy to sit down and take part in all these discussions. Actually, I'm happy to leave whatever I'm doing to come to the discussion. So yes, the kripa is flowing to us. The mercy is there. It's up to us how much we want to grab it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the taste is there. I mean, Prabhuji's and Mataji's here now. I mean, they started a lot earlier, with their session as well. So there has to be some taste to do it. Do something regularly. There has to be some attachment, some attraction, some pull to do that. So wonderful. You're advancing so nicely. It's nice to see. So thank you all so much. And we'll join again on Friday, continue the discussion. Thank you for sharing, and let's advance together. So Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Jai.
Yeah.
So, Bhakti ki
Jai.